这就是国内规模最大、最惨的一个古镇。
This is the largest ancient town ever built in China, and the one that ended in the most tragic way. The entire site covers 1,600 mu of land, with more than 2,500 luxury villas inside. We're talking about 5B-Yuan ancient town in Changde, Hunan province. It was meant to be a real-life utopia, with a total investment of 5 billion yuan. That's roughly $700 million. But the result was the exact opposite. Today, it's nothing but an empty ghost city. You can walk all day and not see a single soul. Weeds have taken over everything, and the whole place is just desolate.
Across China, more than 1,400 ancient towns have turned into ghost towns or have been forced to close. The tourism and traditional craft village boom in ancient towns, once promoted by Chinese media as a rediscovery of traditional beauty, collapsed due to shoddy construction, short-term profit-seeking, and operations aimed at extracting funds from residents and public budgets.
近1500多家古镇类企业相继注销，为什么拆巨资打造的古镇会集体倒闭？
About 1,500 companies tied to these old town projects have been getting wiped off the registry one after another. Why are these ancient towns, built with all that money poured into them, crashing this hard all at once? And it's not just the small ones. Even the big projects that soaked up huge investments aren't doing any better. Like Luli Ancient Town in Hengshui, Hebei, they've announced a restructuring and are hunting for new investors. And Dayong Ancient City in Zhangjiajie, Hunan, even after sinking 2.5 billion yuan into it, they can't sell even 100 tickets a day, and last year they lost 596 million yuan, basically pushing them into bankruptcy.
At present, China has more than 1,400 county-level administrative units, including districts under directly governed municipalities and provincial capitals. By 2012, there were already about 2,800 ancient towns nationwide, meaning that on average each county had almost 2 such sites developed as old-style tourist attractions. In 2016, the Chinese Communist Party again launched a nationwide campaign to build characteristic small towns. It was promoted as a new wave of cultural tourism and a symbol of traditional revival, but what was the result? 99% of these ancient towns ended up looking like identical copies of one another.
街边网红小吃
The trendy street corner snacks, the Hanfu dress-up thing, all the cheap Yiwu trinkets, they've basically become the standard 3-piece set for any old town in China now. Everything's so uniform it feels like Qin Shi Huang just unified the whole place again. Wherever you go, there's always some street with the same cheesy name like I Miss You in XX. And honestly, the overlap's like 99%. Old towns all over the country are being cranked out like copy and paste. Throw in an old-looking bridge, some tiled roofs, a stone path, and boom, it's an ancient town. And tourists are just tired of that same old look, so these man-made old towns keep sliding toward collapse. Locals joke about it now. The only people left coming here are tourists from out of town.
我这么喜欢旅游的，也不爱去那些人造的古镇。
Even someone like me, who really loves traveling, I don't want to go to those man-made old towns anymore. They all look the same, like straight-up copy and paste. From the buildings to the little experiences, everything feels mass-produced. They burn through all that money, and still, what they sell is the same stinky tofu, the same grilled squid, the same cheapy-woo stuff. And everywhere you step, it's the same black tiles and blue stone paths. When construction started, it was all drums and gongs, super hyped, but once they opened, barely anyone showed up. From that loud construction craze to a landscape full of half-dead ruins, it all happened in less than 10 years. And this whole 99% copy-paste ancient town craze blowing up, it's ripping the cultural tourism industry apart. The hype everyone chased after is gone, and the mess it left behind is now a huge headache for the whole sector.
It was the Chinese Communist Party itself that destroyed traditional culture during the Cultural Revolution. Many historical sites scattered across China were thoroughly demolished by the Red Guards. Would anyone seriously believe that such a regime is now advocating a return to tradition? So why are they in such a rush to build ancient towns? The reason is simple. government officials think only about profiting from massive construction projects, and the development of ancient town tourism is merely another part of that vested interest structure.
后的逻辑其实就是先用文化旅游的项目。
The logic behind all this is honestly pretty simple. First, they launch it under the name of some cultural tourism project, grab the land, get the loans. Once the construction's done, the officials look good, the assets look bigger, but tourists don't come, the place can't run itself, the debts pile up, and the whole thing just collapses. Take Daong ancient city in Zhangjiajie. In just 3 years it lost over 500 million yuan, and the depreciation alone hits 50 million a year. This isn't cultural tourism, it's basically an infrastructure project wearing a culture mask. Behind all this, there are 3 main problems. First is that obsession with political achievements. Local governments only care about how fast they can launch and start building, and even if the place bleeds money, nobody's taking the blame. Second is the loan-first mindset. Cultural tourism became a new excuse for local financing, so they borrowed under the name of culture projects, kept building, and in the end the assets stacked up, but the cash flow dried out. Third is the lack of people who can actually run these places. Almost no one really understands tourism or knows how to operate it. There are thousands of old towns across the country, but they all look the same. Blue bricks, gray tiles, grilled sausages, skewers, ethnic-style trinkets, tourists get bored after one visit, and nobody sticks around.
The collapse of ancient town tourism is only part of the hardship facing China's tourism industry as a whole. Many scenic sites and tourism-related companies have fallen into deficit one after another and have been forced to close. Many people had long believed that tourism would naturally develop as long as there were mountains and rivers. But the reality is far harsher. Amid the current downturn in China's tourism sector, even once-renowned scenic spots across the country are seeing fewer and fewer visitors.
这山和水都是免费的，怎么围起来收费，反而还亏钱了呢？
Mountains and rivers, they're supposed to be nature's gifts, they don't belong to anyone. Yet somehow we fence them off, charge people to get in, and still end up losing money. Like, how does that even happen? For a lot of us in China, when you hear Guilin, you think of that line from our primary school textbooks, Guilin's scenery is the best under heaven. And the view on the 20 yuan bill? That's the Lijiang River in Guilin. A place that shows up in both textbooks and on our money should never run out of tourists, that's what anyone would assume. But the truth is totally flipped. This past year, only about 5.68 million people visited Guilin, down 8% from the year before, and its reputation has tanked right along with the numbers.
Where does the cause lie? Although the holiday has only just ended, voices are once again spreading across China's online platforms saying that domestic travel is getting worse and worse. Artificial and dull scenery, exaggerated promotion, low-quality services, and a business mindset focused solely on squeezing money from tourists. Many travelers set out in search of solace, yet what they bring back is only anger and disappointment.
I honestly have no idea how they even took those photos. What are people even enjoying here? 2 crabs, 1 fish, 1 shell, a head of lettuce, 2 oysters, 2 abalone, and it comes out to 1,578 yuan. If you're coming to Beihai, seriously, be careful, especially with this restaurant. Take a good look before you walk in.
In the field of creating tourist landscapes, China has reached a truly astonishing level. In many scenic areas, what visitors see are meticulously reproduced miracles of artificial nature. There are artificial waterfalls roaring as they plunge down, and massive monoliths so large that hundreds of people can take photos at the same time. These natural wonders are, of course, not gifts of the earth. All of them were crafted by the skilled hands of China's construction workers.
腾城第一分的水泥巨石。
7th place goes to that huge cement rock with Pengcheng's #1 peak carved on it. Wutong Mountain is the only national-level scenic spot in Shenzhen, and normally, it takes more than 4 hours to hike to the top. But that big boulder everyone takes photos with, the one that says, Pengcheng's #1 peak, it's actually just a hollow structure made of bricks and rebar and concrete. And this is fake giant rock, has been standing there for almost 20 years now.
景区为弥补自然景观不足，直接在页面。
Sixth place goes to the water pipes stuck on top of the Yuntishan waterfall in Hunan. This huge, dramatic waterfall pulls in over 6 million visitors every year. But people found a bunch of water pipes installed right above it. The site managers said the waterfall itself comes from a natural geological fault. The pipes are just backup water supply to keep it looking okay during dry seasons. Everyone's raising Tibetan Mastiffs. But what about you? Aren't you just a Labrador with a collar on? I mean, this dog, it really looks a lot like a Labrador. Honestly, I can't say for sure. But the ears and the legs, they look exactly the same. It's super cute, really gentle, just a calm little thing.
Tourism projects built in a short time, focused only on profit and sacrificing authenticity clearly reveal the deep-rooted illness afflicting China's tourism sector. It is a tendency to value appearances over experience. As the government becomes obsessed with promoting new projects while ignoring actual quality, the industrialization of tourism is becoming a phenomenon that symbolizes the decline of the industry itself.